Hello. Today we are going to start with your vocabulary for this week. We are in Unit 2, Week 2. Mrs. Wiley is just going to read them and talk a little bit about them. So our first vocabulary word is arrived. Aunt Sophie was so happy when she arrived at her house. What does it mean to arrive? It means to be somewhere at a certain location and be at the location you want to be at. Immigrated. Many people immigrated to the United States from other countries. So, people who were not born in America, they were born in Europe, Africa, Canada. They were not born in the United States. That means they traveled to the United States and came here. That is called immigrated. They traveled. Inspected. Stacy inspected the pine cone very carefully. To inspect means to thoroughly look at all the details of the pine cone, see what it looks like, what does it feel like. Inspect means to get a really good look at something. I'm going to scroll down. Moment. The match stayed lit for a moment and then it went out. Moment is a moment of time. It happens really fast. Something that happened in that moment. Opportunity. Our class had an opportunity or chance to visit the museum. An opportunity means a chance to do something. Opportunity is kind of hard to explain. So it's a chance to do something, um, a opportunity is hard to explain. It's a chance or an opportunity to do something. So you have the ability to do it. Photograph. I'm sure you know what a photograph is. I look at, or I like to look at old family photographs. You can take them on cell phones, cameras, um, webcams. You can look at it and see a specific date and time. Valuable. The card I made is very valuable to my grandmother. Valuable means that they cherish it. It's precious to them. It means something to them. It's very valuable. And our last word for this week is whispered. I'm sure you know what whispered is. Trudy whispered the plan to Josh so no one else could hear it. To whisper means to say something very quietly and very softly. I'm going to transition into our book for this week. Mrs. Bliley is going to read it. I would just like you to follow along. This will also have to do with some of your activities throughout this week also. So, sailing to America. Nora woke early. She hadn't slept much. It was March 1895. Daw was leaving for America today. Uncle Sean immigrated there last year and found work right away. He asked Daw to come join him. It was Ma and Daw's dream to one day live in America. Nora lit a lamp for light and sat down at the table. Her brother Danny joined her. I feel like crying, he whispered softly. I know, Nora answered. So do I. But this is Daw and Ma's dream. Daw will find work and send for us. Look at the photographs that Uncle Sam sent. Doesn't America look grand? Okay, so these children do not live in America. Their uncle immigrated or traveled to America a few years ago. He was successful, was able to find work, and now Daw, I believe, is their father, and their mother would like to do the same. It is their dream to come to America for many opportunities. And then if we scroll down and we look at the picture and analyze what our characters in the book are doing, they're looking at photographs, and these are photographs of America. I don't want to ever leave Ireland, Danny said. We won't have any friends in America. We'll be far away from Grandad, Patty, and Colleen. Maybe you'll be glad if it is in Ireland, Nora said. There will be enough food to eat. Ma and Da can relax and not worry so much. We'll all have a better life. America will be the land of our dreams. A year later Daw had saved enough money to send his family, Mama, Danny, and Nora, packed what they had. They got on a crowded steamship and began their voyage. The trip across the Atlantic Ocean was rough. The air inside the steamship smelled like a dirty sock. The ship tossed up and down for days. The waves were as big as mountains. Many passengers became seasick, but Nora and Danny felt fine. Every day Nora dreamed and reread Daw's letters. She thought of the building and the streetcars he wrote about. In her dreams, she could picture Daw on a crowded street. He had a big smile on his face. Okay, so As we can see in this page, we see that the characters, the main characters in our book, are from Ireland. So they are traveling from Ireland to America. Some things that we can pick out about their life in America is they mentioned that they didn't have enough food to eat all the time. So we can mention that food was low or it was hard to get or their parents didn't have enough money for it. Their dad went over to America before the children and the mom did and made and saved money so that he could get them on a boat to come to America. And while they were on the boat, it smelled really stinky and the waves were really rough, so people were tossed and thrown all over the place. One morning, Nora awoke. A moment later, she realized something was different. The ocean was as smooth as glass. A few hours later, Nora, Danny, and Mama shivered together on the ship's deck. Snowflakes drifted through the air. Another traveler noticed and gave them a blanket. It was as thin as a rag, but nothing could have been more valuable to them. Suddenly, someone shouted, "There's Lady Liberty!" As the ship passed the large statue, the crowd cheered. Someone shouted, "At last, we've arrived! We are in America." Soon everyone was singing and dancing. A ferry took the travelers to Ellis Island. In the main hall, doctors inspected the family. They looked for signs of illness. Mama had to answer many questions. Nora knew that people didn't get an opportunity or another chance to take these tests twice. Nora looked at Danny, then at Mama. They had to pass. After a few hours, the family learned they could stay in America. As they filed off the ferry, Nora saw Uncle Sam's dark hair. Then she saw Daw. Her hands waved wildly. She had a big smile on her face. Dreams do come true, Nora thought as she waved back. Okay, so they're traveling on the boat. It's really, really rocky, but then all of a sudden it gets really smooth. And it's really cold out and there's snow. They get a very thin blanket to someone, but then they say that even though it was thin as a rag, that it was still valuable to them. So we can make an inference that this family was not very, did not have a lot of things and did not have a lot of money. So we can make that inference by the context clues in our story. Also, they see the Statue of Liberty. If we look at this picture right here, we can see the Statue of Liberty. That means they're in America, and everyone got excited and began to sing and dance because they're just so filled with joy. So once they got off of the boat, they were inspected by a bunch of doctors. When immigrants used to come to America, they were inspected by doctors to make sure that they weren't bringing over any sickness that would infect the other American people. So you want to think about that. And they had to pass tests, so they had to answer a lot of questions before they were able to be a citizen and come into America. So that is the end of our story. We will make or have a few more lessons based off of this story. So this is just the starter for the week. I'm also going to introduce your vocab, or we did vocab. We'll also introduce some grammar and some spelling words. So first, let's do some grammar. Whoops. Okay, so Mrs. Bliley's going to do this, but I'm going to pretend you're in my class. I read an article in USA Today about George Washington, the first president of the United States. Okay, there are definitely some errors in this sentence. Mrs. Bliley's going to correct them. So I read an article in USA Today. So let's think about it. Proper nouns. Proper nouns have capital letters. United States of America is a specific place. So we are going to want to capitalize the United States of America. So USA, all caps. Please excuse my penmanship. I am trying very hard to be for you to read it. So I read an article in the United States, capital letters, today about George Washington. George Washington, is that a specific person? Yes. So we need to make that a capital G, just like Mrs. Bliley and Eliana. Those are specific people. They have capital letters in them. The first president of the United States. United States is a specific place. That is a proper noun. We need to make that a capital S. And what do we always put at the end of a sentence? Punctuation. In this case, we're going to use a period. I also quickly want to go over your spelling words for this week. I'm going to try to make this a little bit bigger, but maybe, not, that's a little too big. Okay, so our spelling words this week are long E. So let's look, you have 10. 1, heal. 2, week. 3, creek. 4, free. 5, green, like the color. 6, street. 7, freeze. 8, seal. 9, week. And 10, speaks. So if you look, long E either has the EE combination or the EA combination. So that's what we're going to be working with this week. I do have a few spelling activities for you to do. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please also remember your support time is 11 to 11:30, where I can instruct you and help you with any of your English language arts classes or projects or anything that you need. Please reach out to me anytime you need any additional help with any of your classes, and I will fix my schedule so I can help you. Have a great day.